Some homes don't need to impress, they just feel good to be near. You walk by and even if it's not the biggest or newest house on the block, something about it draws your attention. It's not the paint color or the porch swing, it's something quieter, more alive. It's how the space around it feels, calm, grounded, somehow welcoming even before anyone opens the door. And often that feeling starts right at the front gate with a plant. It sounds simple, even trivial, but what lives near your entrance silently shapes how energy, people, and experiences meet your home. That's not superstition, it's observation. In real estate, we call it curb appeal. In psychology, it's called environmental priming. And in traditional feng shui, it's known as the mouth of Kai, the space where energy flows in or gets stuck. Whatever language you use, one thing is clear: the front of your home sends a message before you do. And plants, living, growing, responsive, are one of the most powerful ways to set that message right. In this video, we'll explore 3 plants that aren't just decorative. They help filter stress, slow chaotic energy, and invite in a steadier flow of health and prosperity. These aren't rare species or magical fixes. They're choices rooted in balance, simple gestures that can shift how your home feels and what it begins to attract. Whether you live in a quiet suburb, a busy city block, or a rural lane, these plants can help turn your front entrance into a soft landing place for energy, for well-being, and for the life you're trying to build. Let's begin at the gate, because that's where everything starts. Part 1. The gate is not just a boundary, it's a decision point. You can tell a lot about a home without ever stepping inside. Sometimes it's something small, a path that curves gently, a wind chime catching the light, or a quiet plant leaning toward the sun by the gate. And sometimes you don't notice anything specific, but you feel something, a calmness, a pause, a quiet invitation. That moment before you reach the door, it matters more than most people think. Because the gate is not just a line between public and private, it's a moment of choice. It's where energy of people, of opportunities, of emotion decides whether to enter or pass by. In every home, the entrance sets the tone. Think about it: when someone walks up to your house, what's the first thing they encounter? Is it soft or sharp, cluttered or clean? Does it feel like someone thought about that space, or like it was just leftover ground no one cared to shape? You don't need to believe in energy work to know that first impressions shape experience. The way a space receives you affects how welcome you feel, and that begins at the gate. In Feng Shui, the front gate is called the mouth of Kai, the place where energy flows into the home, but you don't need that language to recognize the pattern. Homes with harsh gates, dead plants, or exposed concrete often carry a tension that lingers. Homes with thoughtful entrances, where plants are growing, where something soft meets your arrival, tend to feel different before you've even knocked. And the truth is, many of us spend so much time decorating inside that we forget the conversation starts outside. We declutter the living room, we light candles, we rearrange furniture hoping for peace. But if the gate is tense, if it's rushed, forgotten, or cold, everything inside has to work harder. You can feel it as restlessness. You sleep but don't rest. You work but don't thrive. Money comes in but doesn't seem to stay, and it's not always big or obvious. Sometimes it's just a low hum of disconnection that follows you around the house. It's not about aesthetics. This isn't about curb appeal or impressing neighbors. This is about rhythm. Just like your body needs a calm breath to settle your nervous system, your home needs a calm entrance to settle the flow of life. When energy rushes in too fast, it scatters. When it's blocked or ignored, it stagnates. The gate is the breath in, and what that breath carries shapes what follows. A front entrance that slows you down for just a second can shift everything. Think of how we greet people we care about. If someone barges into your space without eye contact, without pause, how open do you feel to them? Now think of someone who arrives gently, maybe says your name softly, waits a beat before stepping in. That changes everything. Your home is the same. If the gate is chaotic or blank or harsh, the energy entering carries that tone. But when there's a pause, a tree, a plant, even a curved path, it creates space for a different rhythm. One that nourishes, not overwhelms. So many homes in modern life are designed for speed. Straight concrete walkways, metal fences, sparse gates, everything visible, minimal, efficient. But what works in design doesn't always work for well-being. When energy charges in with nowhere to land, the space inside starts to feel impatient. Conversations become shorter. Meals feel rushed. Your mind doesn't settle. You can have the nicest couch, the best lighting, but if the entrance is rushing life into your home without care, it's hard to feel rooted. That's why the gate matters, not because of tradition or superstition, but because it's the first point of contact. It shapes what follows. A front gate that welcomes, quietly, gently, intentionally changes how people enter, how energy flows, and how you feel at the end of the day. It doesn't need to be dramatic. Sometimes one small plant is enough. One curved stepping stone, one sign that says this home receives with care. And here's the quiet truth: you don't need to fix everything inside your home to feel better. Sometimes you just need to shift what meets the world. When you change the tone at the threshold, the whole song sounds different. Maybe that's the place to begin, not with the kitchen, not with the clutter, but with the gate. Because that's where your life starts coming in. Part 2: Bamboo, wealth that bends but never breaks. 3. Bamboo is not flashy. It doesn't bloom with bright flowers. It doesn't stretch wide with heavy shade. But ask anyone who's lived with it, really watched it, and they'll tell you bamboo changes how a space feels. It's one of the few plants that can soften the noise of a city street without blocking the light. It filters, not fights. It bends, not breaks. And that's exactly what makes it a quiet magnet for lasting wealth and steady well-being. Let's go straight to the point. Wealth that stays isn't always loud. It doesn't come from force or speed. It comes from rhythm, resilience, and the ability to move with life, not against it. That's what bamboo teaches the moment you plant it near your gate. It doesn't shout for attention, but it speaks clearly. In places where energy rushes, fast cars, harsh winds, heavy days, bamboo says, slow down. And in doing so, it helps your home become a place where pressure dissolves and flow begins. Think about the seasons in your own life. Maybe there was a year when things fell apart. A job loss, a divorce, a health scare, or maybe not a disaster, but a slow fade. The kind of tired that doesn't go away. The kind of stress that sits in your chest even when the to-do list is empty. In times like that, strength doesn't mean pushing harder. It means having somewhere soft to lean. Bamboo in its nature is that softness, not weak, not passive, just ready to return to center every time life bends it. Its form matters, tall, slender, upright, but hollow. That hollowness isn't emptiness, it's grace. It lets wind pass through instead of breaking against it, and symbolically it reminds us that real strength doesn't need to be rigid. In a culture that often rewards performance and noise, bamboo is a quiet kind of confidence, the kind that doesn't try to prove itself. It just stands steady again and again. Near your gate, bamboo does more than decorate. It catches fast energy before it hits your front door. It creates a subtle screen between your private life and the rush of the world. Not a wall, just enough of a pause. That pause is everything. Energy, like people, needs a second to adjust, to breathe, to soften. When bamboo is the first thing energy meets, it calms down before entering. And that means you do too. If your home sits on a busy street or faces a sharp intersection, bamboo is especially useful. It doesn't block, it edits. It softens harsh lines. It lets light in without exposure. It moves with the breeze but holds its place. And because it grows in groups, you can shape it. Create a gentle curve, form a pathway, or cluster it like a quiet choir at your entrance. And every time you walk by, it reminds you, strength doesn't have to be loud to be real. But like anything that matters, bamboo asks for care. If you plant it and forget it, let it dry, let it overgrow. Let it turn brown, it stops protecting and starts echoing neglect. A healthy bamboo whispers peace. A dying one reflects chaos. That's why the relationship matters. You don't need to obsess, just be present, water it, trim it, walk slowly past it. Let it become part of your rhythm, not just your view. And then pay attention to how your space feels over time. Not instantly, not magically, but slowly, quietly. Maybe your mornings stretch a little longer. Maybe conversations last a little deeper. Maybe your spending habits shift, not because you earn more, but because money starts to feel less frantic. Bamboo doesn't bring luck, it brings coherence, and from that abundance grows. One last thing, if you've been carrying too much stress, expectation, invisible weight, bamboo offers a message without saying a word. You can release, you can bend, you will rise again. It doesn't hold tension, it dances with it. And sometimes, that's the exact energy a home needs to hold, not pressure but permission. So before you look for the next upgrade, the next fix, the next breakthrough, pause at your gate. What's standing there now? Is it helping you soften, helping you breathe, helping life enter at a human pace? If not, maybe it's time to plant something that knows how to sway. Bamboo won't change everything overnight, but it will change the way your space holds life. And that's where wealth begins, not in speed or shine, but in something that quietly endures. Part 3: Fragrant Dracaena, health that grows in quiet focus. Some plants catch your eye, others help you see more clearly. Fragrant Dracaena is the second kind. It doesn't sway in the wind like bamboo. It doesn't burst with fruit like a citrus tree. It stands still, calm, steady, present, and sometimes that's exactly what a home needs. Not more beauty, not more energy, but more quiet clarity. In a world that moves fast, where noise is constant and focus is scattered, Dracaena brings a different kind of message. You're allowed to slow down and still grow. Let's be honest, most of us don't live in peaceful environments. We multitask, run late, manage too much, and when we finally get home, the energy feels just as scattered as the day we left behind. There are half-finished chores by the door, a bag that never gets fully unpacked, a hallway that seems to collect mail, shoes, tension. And even if the space looks fine, something inside still feels unsettled. That's where fragrant Dracaena comes in, not as decoration, but as direction. The plant grows upward, not fast, not flashy, just steady. Its leaves don't flutter, its shape doesn't sprawl, it holds its form like someone who knows what they're doing even when they don't say much. And that's the point. Dracaena doesn't demand space, it defines it. And when placed near your gate or entrance, it signals something subtle but powerful. This is a home with structure. This is a space that values calm. This is a doorway that knows how to hold its own. In energy terms, Dracaena brings verticality. That matters more than it sounds, because when you're surrounded by things that lean, fall, or sprawl, your mind starts to mimic the mess. But when you walk past something upright, balanced, rooted, it changes your posture. Not just physically, but emotionally. You pause, you breathe. You remember that movement doesn't have to mean chaos. It can be calm, directional, intentional. And health, true deep health, thrives in that kind of environment. Not just physical wellness, but mental stillness. The kind that doesn't come from taking breaks, but from building spaces that restore you. When you place a fragrant Dracaena at the entrance, you're not just putting up a plant, you're placing a guide, one that says, come in slowly, set down the weight. There's no rush here. And over time, that message changes how you walk into your own life. Dracaena is also known for something else, something quieter. Its scent. It doesn't overwhelm, it doesn't fill a room. But if you get close, if you really pay attention, there's a clean, earthy aroma like fresh air in a still forest. It doesn't distract, it resets, and that's exactly what many homes need. Not stimulation, not more to react to, but a point of stillness that brings you back to yourself. This is especially true for households going through transition, a career shift, a family change, a season of waiting. In moments like that, you don't need more input, you need coherence. You need something rooted that reminds you to keep walking one step at a time. That's what Dracaena offers, not clarity through answers, but through consistency. It won't solve your problems, but it will stand beside you while you figure them out. But like anything meaningful, it requires presence. Dracaena isn't high maintenance, but it notices when you stop noticing. If ignored, its leaves droop, its shape loses definition, collects dust. The plant that once symbolized quiet growth starts to mirror neglect. That's why tending to it becomes part of the message. Wipe its leaves, trim the edges, say good morning when you walk past, not out of superstition, but because attention is energy. And energy, when directed with care, shapes reality. In that sense, Dracaena is more than a plant, it's a reflection. It doesn't ask you to change everything, just to stay present with what you've planted. And in it helps you hold your center when life feels off balance. It's not there to impress your neighbors or boost your property value. It's there to remind you quietly, patiently, that growth doesn't always need to be seen to be trusted. So if your home feels scattered, if the front feels rushed, or the energy just doesn't land, this may be your plant. Not because it changes everything overnight, but because it begins to shift the tone of your entrance, the tone of your mornings, the tone of how you walk back into yourself after a long day. And in that tone, health begins to settle, not just in your body, but in the rhythm of your life. Fragrant Dracaena doesn't perform, it holds. And maybe that's the kind of strength that lasts. Part 4. Kumquat tree. Joy that stays, wealth that feels like home. Some trees are planted for privacy, some for shade, but the kumquat tree is planted for something far more personal: joy. Not loud joy, not performative joy, but the kind that feels earned and stays with you. A kumquat doesn't tower, it doesn't bloom in dramatic bursts. It simply grows steadily, generously, with golden fruit that almost glows in the morning light. Fruit like small coins, round and firm, quietly waiting near your door. And without saying a word, this tree speaks. It says abundance is here and it's staying. Let's get right to it. If bamboo is about flexibility and Dracaena is about clarity, then the kumquat tree is about fulfillment. Not the chase, but the arrival. It stands at your gate like a gentle reminder that some forms of wealth are soft, small, and deeply rooted. That joy doesn't have to be grand to be meaningful. That success doesn't always look like more, it can also look like enough. For many people, especially those in a stage of rebuilding financially, emotionally, spiritually, the Kumquat offers a kind of steady encouragement, not a promise of sudden fortune, but a quiet sign that what you've planted is beginning to bear fruit. There's a reason this tree has long been associated with prosperity in different cultures. It produces real, edible fruit, not ornamental, not decorative, but usable, shareable, nourishing. That matters, because when your front gate holds something that gives, it sets a tone for your entire home. A kumquat tree says this is not just a place of shelter, this is a place where something good is always in season. In Feng Shui, fruiting trees are seen as signs of manifesting energy. That simply means things aren't just in motion, they're coming into form. Ideas become outcomes, hope becomes reality. But you don't need to believe in symbols to feel the truth of that. When you see a tree full of healthy fruit, you sense it. This space is cared for. This home is alive. Something here is being nourished and it's ready to be shared. That's a powerful energy to place at your entrance, especially if you've lived in a space where good things seem to come and go quickly. Money that arrives but doesn't stay, peace that doesn't last, joy that feels fragile. The kumquat helps stabilize those rhythms, not through control but through presence. Its fruit doesn't fall all at once. It ripens slowly, evenly, with patience. And that process sets the tone, not urgency but growth, not chasing but welcoming. But here's the key, just like any form of wealth, the kumquat responds to care. If you ignore it, if you let its leaves turn dry, if fruit falls and rots beneath it, the energy shifts. The tree that once symbolized generosity becomes a reflection of what's been left behind. That's why tending it is part of the practice. Water it, prune it, harvest its fruit before it overripens. Not just because it's a plant, but because it's a mirror. It teaches us that abundance, like joy, needs participation. It asks, are you still present with what you've received? And here's something beautiful. When you harvest from it, when you pick 3 kumquats and place them in a bowl, or gift a handful to a neighbor, or slice one into tea, you multiply its energy. That simple act of noticing and sharing turns the tree from a symbol into a rhythm. The rhythm of giving without depletion. The rhythm of gratitude that doesn't need a special occasion. And your home begins to feel that, not in grand gestures, but in the way moments linger. In the way laughter stays in the hallway a little longer. In how the weight of the day feels easier to put down at the door. For homes that have known instability, this matters deeply. For people who have worked hard to build a safe space for themselves. For their families, the kumquat reminds you that peace can have roots, that joy can be sustainable, that the wealth you build doesn't always need to be reinvested, repurposed, or proven. Sometimes it just needs to be lived. And if your home faces southeast, a direction traditionally associated with wealth and expansion, planting a kumquat there can enhance that message even more. But even if it doesn't, the message still stands. The energy at your gate reflects what you're ready to receive. A kumquat tree says, I am no longer chasing, I am choosing to enjoy what is here. So ask yourself, what's the energy near your door right now? Is it empty space? Is it decoration you don't even see anymore? Or is it something living, something fruitful, something that reminds you joy is allowed to stay? Because the kumquat doesn't just decorate your entrance, it blesses it with sweetness, with stability, and with a kind of wealth that feels like home. Part 5. Plants at the gate aren't decoration. They are dialogue. We don't often think of plants as communicators. We buy them to fill a corner, soften a space, or add a little green. But at the front of your home, right by the gate, a plant is more than decor. It's your first word, your first gesture, your first conversation with the world. That's why it matters, because the space just outside your door is not neutral. It either invites or it repels. It either slows energy down or lets it rush in unfiltered. And the plant you place there is part of that rhythm, whether you mean it to be or not. So let's be clear, this isn't about landscaping. This is about language, not spoken language, but the kind you feel before anyone says a word. Just like the posture of a person tells you how open they are, the presence or absence of life at your gate tells the world something about how you receive. A healthy plant doesn't just look good. It tells visitors, energy, even you, this home is cared for, this threshold matters. And in return, the home begins to respond. The conversations inside feel warmer, the pace softens, even small things like how long you sit at the table or how you sleep begin to shift. Because when the outside world is asked to slow down at the edge, it enters differently. The gate, after all, is not just a line, it's a filter. a bridge, a moment of transition, and the plant that lives there can help shape that moment with grace. But this only works if the plant is truly present, not just placed. A neglected bush, a dying tree, or a flower pot filled with dry soil sends a message too, one of disconnection, one of absence, and it doesn't take long for that energy to echo inward. That's why tending the plants at your entrance isn't about being a gardener. It's about being in dialogue, checking in, paying attention. Small, quiet acts of care that align the energy of your home with the life you want it to hold. This also means choosing the right plant for your space. Not just what's trendy or pretty, but what makes sense for your climate, your rhythm, your intention. Bamboo to soften harsh energy, Dracaena for upright clarity, Kumquat to ground joy and growth. Each carries a different tone, like different instruments in the same song. And when chosen with care, they don't just fill space. They set the tempo for everything that follows. It's also worth asking, what is the energy flow around your entrance like right now? Is it open and fast, blocked and dull, busy and disorganized? Your plant can help balance that if you let it. It can redirect sharp lines, offer shade, frame a path, or add just enough softness to change the tone. And the goal isn't perfection, it's coherence. You want the energy outside to match what you want to feel inside. You want the welcome at the gate to echo through every room. Sometimes the shift is subtle. You walk past your entrance and pause, not to check your phone, but to breathe. Guests linger a little longer before knocking. The house feels less like a machine you manage and more like a being you're in relationship with. That's the power of plants, not because they're mystical, but because they are alive. They grow, respond, remember. They don't just hold space, they shape it. And at the gate, that's everything. So if you've been feeling stuck, scattered, or just off in your home, don't start with the living room. Start outside. Step back to the sidewalk and really look. What's the first thing someone or something meets when they approach your space? Is it an open invitation or a closed circuit? Is it a moment of breath or a blur of concrete and speed? That first impression isn't about judgment, it's about alignment. You deserve to live in a space that meets the world with the same care you're trying to bring into it. That's why a plant at the gate is never just a plant, it's a gesture, a signal, a living rhythm that begins before the door opens. And when you choose that rhythm with intention, when you plant not just to fill but to welcome, everything that follows feels different, more connected, more grounded, more like home. So water it, trim it, thank it, let it become part of your threshold, not just visually but energetically. Because the message it carries doesn't stop at the gate, it moves with you. It shapes your mornings, your moments, your memory of what home feels like. And it reminds you every time you pass that how you receive matters just as much as what you hope to receive. Final, we often think of prosperity as something we chase, something out there tied to effort, luck, timing. But sometimes what changes everything isn't what we do out there, it's what we invite in here. And that invitation often starts long before we open the door. It starts at the edge, at the gate, through something as simple as living, as present as a plant. Bamboo teaches us that wealth doesn't have to be hard. It can bend, it can yield, it can return. Dracaena reminds us that real health begins with quiet focus, structure that holds even when everything else shifts. And the kumquat tree, it whispers of joy that's rooted, wealth that doesn't flash but stays. And in the quiet rhythm of tending to these plants, watering them, pruning them, noticing them, we begin to shift something deeper in our space and in ourselves. Science tells us our environments affect our biology, our stress levels, our nervous system, even the way our brains process information. But long before any study confirmed it, we already knew some spaces hold us, some doors feel safe to walk through, some homes breathe with us, and often that feeling begins not with what's inside, but with what stands gently just outside. So maybe the question now isn't what should I buy next, or how do I fix my house? Maybe it's simpler, softer. What do I want to feel when I come home? What do I want the world to feel when it meets my space? And how can one living thing planted with care begin to change that? Thank you for walking through this reflection with me. It means more than you know. Whether you live in a quiet corner of the suburbs or a busy apartment in the city, may your home receive what your heart is truly ready to hold. Gently, fully, and in rhythm with the life you're creating. Until next time, may your threshold always be alive, and your welcome always be soft.